Bionic Gloves presents the Hands-On Golf Podcast, bringing anatomy and hand function to the forefront of glove design to improve comfort, fit, and performance. Bionic is a division of Hilrich & Bradsby Company, makers of Louisville Slugger bats and ball gloves. Bionic gloves are the only gloves designed by a leading orthopedic hand surgeon, Dr. Jim Kleinert.
Welcome everyone to this week's Bionic Gloves Hands-On Golf Podcast. My name is Chaz Rao. I'm your host, and I'm coming to you from the Audubon Country Club here in Louisville, Kentucky, and I'm here with Eric Gilliland, who's been gracious enough to answer another question for this podcast. So let's get right into it. And this one comes in from Wes, and he says, what's the best thing to try to help my confidence on the course or gain confidence on the course when I'm struggling? Eric?
Wes, since you haven't spoken to your level of ability, I'll answer the question in two parts. If you're a high handicapper, a way you could try to deal with your confidence issue is by establishing a personal par. And what that means is you take a 3-hole stretch on the golf course, and let's say, for example, it's 3 par 4s, but you really struggle with those, and a lot of times you'll make a high number on a couple of holes, maybe an 8 or a 7. What you might want to do is say, okay, for me, my personal par is 5, 6, 5. So what you're trying to do as you approach those holes is not attack them like a single digit or a scratch golfer might attack them, but play within what your game allows you to do. So instead of hitting a 250-yard drive and a 150-yard shot on the green, maybe you hit a club off the tee that keeps you in the fairway, you hit a shot somewhere up short of the green that's in play and out of trouble, and then try to hit that third shot onto the green. Then if you should happen to make par, you've really made birdie versus what your game is like, and if you 2-putt from there, you make your 5 and you say, hey, I've played a pretty good hole here, and you're not so concerned about what the other players in your group are making or scoring. And that's how you can slowly start to improve over time. And on those 3 holes, maybe you're 1 under par or even par for your personal par. Over time, you take that personal par and you start to move it down as you improve. Now for the single digit or scratch golfer that's dealing with confidence issues, maybe you struggle down the stretch, you make some bogeys when you're really playing better than that, and it's the pressure that's gotten to you. What you really need to do is step back and say, okay, I'm playing one shot at a time here. It's not about trying to shoot a certain score, it's more about trying to execute a specific shot, trying to stay in the moment. That's what your tour players are doing out there. They get into their pre-shot routine before they hit their shot. They get up over the ball and they're simply trying to hit the ball into a spot, not focused on trying to make a certain number. So hopefully that helps you either way. And if you have any more questions about how to deal with confidence, contact your local PGA professional.
Well, Eric, thank you, of course. And Wes, thank you for the question, because without your all's involvement, this podcast would have no questions. So thank you very much. And remember, Wes, just for you participating, you get the Bionic glove. Now, if you would like to participate in this podcast, all you've got to do is send an email, and that is podcast@bionicgloves.com. And if we use it, we will more than happy send you this glove. Now, remember, all you got to do is include your name, your full mailing address, of course, the question, what size glove you wear, and whether you're right or left-handed. You do all that, and we'll be more than happy to send you the glove. Please visit the bionicgloves.com/podcast page. Tell your friends to subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, and please leave your feedback in iTunes as well. And thank you again for your support, and we'll see you on the next Bionic Gloves Hands-On Golf Podcast.